This is Scratch Your Own Itch, the one show that delivers the conversations that we're afraid to share, but need to. This show is all about creating a life worth living. I'm Logan Tyler Nelson, and I'm your host. So, you're going to hear conversations with creators and entrepreneurs talk about what they do, their current and past traumas, how they became who they are, and what they are truly curious about. This is the show where we talk about the things we think about a lot, but need to talk about more. Please take note that this show is not a substitute for actually creating a life worth living, because this show will stir your beliefs, make you question what it means to create a life worth living. So my promise to you is to always give you one question to answer for yourself today to start turning your dreams into a reality. Hello, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for tuning in to Scratch Your Own Itch. Because I know you can be listening to any other podcast. You can be watching all these Netflix shows. You can be listening to all these audiobooks. But you came here to listen to this episode. And maybe, it was some sort of a catchy, let's call it clickbaity title, like how to become a famous actor in 30 days that brought you here, or some clickbaity title like how to make passive income, that kind of stuff. But the fact is you are the authority of your life, and you came here for a reason, so use it. Everything happens for a reason. But I've got a pretty awesome killer guest on today. His name is Marc Gordon, and if you look up on IMDb, you will find his awesome webpage. See, Marc grew up outside of Philadelphia in the suburb of Ambler. He attended Germantown Acadedmy High School, and he was always interested in making people laugh. Doing impressions and whatnot. Who knows what he did to make them always laugh, but he made them laugh. And then he looked at himself and said, I really want to make something happen out of this. And so he went to Tulane University and actually spent time building his craft and building his repertoire. And then he moved out to LA, and after that, he is now pursuing his life as an actor and actually getting things done and making people turn their frowns upside down daily. So, without further ado, give a huge warm welcome to the one and only Marc S. Gordon.
Thank you, Logan. That was a great intro, and I'm very excited to be on Scratch Your Own Itch.
Thanks, man. I also am excited. So, I keep these relatively short so people don't spend their entire day.
Yeah.
Just because I think my biggest fear is making a self-improvement podcast where people use the self-improvement as entertainment jargon, and they don't actually utilize any of it. So I really want to just jump right in and go and ask you right now, Marc, what's a little story from your life that you think has an underlying theme from it that someone could maybe break themselves open?
So I would say that I used comedy to really help me kind of incorporate myself to other people. When I was growing up, I was really short. I looked really young. So I just kind of felt not really like at ease around other people my age, because everyone thought like I was like their like little younger brother. So for me, it was just like, okay, how do I fit in? I used comedy to kind of, make me be like accepted. So that for me was kind of like prevalent theme throughout my life.
So, like, kind of digging into that, what was a little thing that happened maybe when you're in, I don't know, high school that looking back now, you're like, wow, I can't believe I believed in that. I can't believe I thought that about myself.
Well, I mean, as far as a funny story, that kind of just jumps out. When we were seniors, there were some people we had in front of the whole school. We did like a little play senior day, and I dressed up as like the Little Caesar pizza guy with full toga, and I kind of just like walked across like the whole thing, did my pizza and a toga, and just like walked out of school, and I got like a standing ovation. So for me, that was like something where I'm like, aha, this is something that really like people will talk about. And for me, I was just like, oh, this is really like great. Like I kind of like made it in this small little world.
Oh man, I totally get that. I understand that. I totally get that. Where it's like, wow, this is what it feels like to be in the spotlight.
And I think too, like when you're, because mental health is a big thing. So a lot of it, we were kind of talking before the air, like, okay, what's a big way to be accepted? Like, how are you going to be able to get through certain things? How are you be able to meander through? So I felt like that for me was it. Like, if you're in a tense situation and you could, for me, like fire a joke off and kind of like relieve this tension, even in stressful situations, I found it very useful. So for me, that was kind of like my own like mental way of being like accepted. In a way, on the flip side, like sometimes when I walk into a room, I almost feel like sometimes I can be very introverted. But if I have an audience, then I feel like accepted and more relaxed.
Oh, I get that totally. I want to ask you, what do you think the most valuable piece of information is that we should understand about the industry that you're in right now?
Well, the most valuable piece is that it's not as easy as you think it is. So you definitely have to put work and patience. Patience is key. So always like keep perfecting. For me, it's just like writing and making projects. Even if they don't really go anywhere, you just feel like a sense of accomplishment if you can get something done. The coolest part is I started off doing stand up, and stand up you're very isolated. So it's kind of, I think, like we were also talking off the air, like you were doing a job where you felt like removed. When I'm working on a show, like you write something and then you come together as a crew and a group. So I really like that, as opposed to say something in stand up. So for me, it was just like group. So a lot of people, they do like improv, they do sketch stuff to kind of have that bond with other people. And then when you have that support system. But if you're isolated, you really can kind of get down on yourself, and you're like, why am I not making it? But coming together, working, that's like a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I think it's it's a double-edged sword. Like some people go like, hey, you just gotta kind of create your own life and do it on your own and make your own thing happen, write your own script, but then you got to be collaborative. How have you kind of like, I guess, artfully blended those two things together?
A lot of it is I had a movie at a randomly in a screening, and someone else had a screening there, and then afterwards, like, wow, I really liked your movie. We should do something together. And out of that, kind of odd pairing of just having the screenings the same together, we ended up doing stuff together and making like making a project. So a lot of it, you just got to kind of be open and think that like everywhere you go, there could be an opportunity waiting around. And so then once you have that, it's like, okay, like you said, you maybe you have something written down, like ready to go. Like, hey, I got something. You want to be in it? Let's do it. And then from that, you never know. Like you get this team. And so when you look at like certain people, like, okay, like Adam Sandler didn't know all the people when he was on SNL, but then afterwards became friends, and they're in all the movies together. So sometimes they're just like chance occurrences. Hopefully you vibe with the right people, and who knows where that can go to.
So I have an audience who, I'm even lucky to just say I have an audience. I have people that tune in that usually they connect with people that don't have things really going for them. Sometimes I'll be honest with you. I'll listen to podcasts and I'll go, man, like they're laughing, they're having a bunch of fun. Like I don't even want to listen to this anymore. Like I'll listen to more stuff about people talking about the deep, hard stuff. And so we kind of talked a little bit off air. Is there anything like right now that you're like really just like really struggling with yourself? And if you could talk a little bit about what you're struggling with, and maybe a game plan to try to put yourself back on the map.
Yeah, that is a really good question. And for me, it's getting older. When you're in your early 20s, you just think like, oh yeah, the life is open. And then as you start to get older, you're like, okay, time is kind of shrinking down. Like you're struggling, like, oh wow, I don't look the same way. I got some more wrinkles, hair's starting to go a little bit. So you kind of like, all right, there's less for me, like me, there's like less roles. And now people are off getting married and kids. So some of the friends that you were used to are not there. So a lot of things, like when you're younger in college, you have so many opportunities, and that's slowly starting to shrink. So when you're talking about mental, she's like, how do I find stuff that keeps me, motivated and going, and knowing that there's not as many opportunities out there. So that's definitely something that I'm struggling with.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah, getting older is tough, but you know, I heard someone the other day, like at the restaurant that I work at. That was he was pretty funny, and I heard him say like, "Hey kid, one day you'll be you'll realize that when you get older, nothing really matters. Nothing matters, and you'll actually like the fact that you can barely move." That you'll like the fact that you can barely smell anything. You'll like the fact that that everyone's selfish and greedy, and you'll just go, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, wow, to just let that all go. He's so right.
It is kind of freeing. We were talking about the other day, like, when you're younger, your 20s, you want to go out to the club, the bar, you would just want to constantly go out. And then when you get older, you have to talk yourself to go out. It's like an interesting change where you're like, oh yeah, I would go out and come back home when the sun's up. And now you're like, when the sun comes up, you're at the gym, or you're like doing stuff like that, or different activities. So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, you just don't care as much about those little things that you thought about before.
I love it. All right, well, dude, I think really like to go into these like what I call scratching the surface curiosity questions,
Sure.
where it's like just bam, boom, we'll get in and out,
Let's do it.
and exactly. So the first one I got for you is your favorite social media channel.
Ooh, social media channel. I'm really into Instagram TV. I really like that concept that you could, because Instagram is so far reaching, and it kind of has more of a skew to a younger demographic. And I put my song Diaper Dawn, sorry, on there, and I got a lot of reaction. So I'm a big fan of that.
I love it. What's your favorite book?
Ooh, favorite book. I really like The Count of Monte Cristo. I just like
Nice.
the story, the plots, and I like, it's just like, okay, you did something wrong to me. Okay, well, let me take it in, and I'll plot my little revenge. It kind of showed me the long game.
Totally, totally. Who do you find most influential? Like, who in the next like 5 years do you want to be sitting at a table with?
Barack Obama.
I like it. I
Oh,
like it.
will that happen? Probably not. But would I like to be at his table? Absolutely.
What is your favorite event slash social gathering that you would like to attend?
I love going to concerts. So just going to a music concert. I was just at the Grateful Dead last week and had a blast. Never saw them before. So I just like going to a concert and just like you're around so many different people, but you come together to listen to like this band, and it's an awesome commonality feeling.
Love it. What's your favorite podcast as of late?
Well, I mean, scratch your own itch.
Hey, I didn't pay you to say that, but let's hear another one.
Yeah, I like Marc Maron is really good. He's got like a bunch of really interesting guests on there, so I like his stuff.
Sweet, 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 sweet. What's your definition of success?
Happiness. You know, a lot of people think like, oh, I have to be successful financially, or be like a celebrity out here in this business. But I just think like happiness, because you see so many people look at, like, say, for example, Robin Williams, like one of the funniest guys in the world, and he wasn't happy. So like, I feel like if you have that, whatever it is, happy at your work, happy with your family, I think that is the key.
And then, what do you think is the key to happiness? I'm not even joking you. That's sort of my question.
No. I think just finding something that, or anything that you're really like, that I feel like you not necessarily accelerate, but that it's something like, whether it's a challenge and you feel like a sense of accomplishment. I feel like if you're doing something and when you're challenged mentally or physically, and I feel like when you get that done, you're like, okay, sense of relief, sense of like, wow, I did that. Whatever that is. I don't think it has to be something really big. I just feel like it's something that you're excited about.
No, man, I love that. I think that's such a solid answer. So, all right, just a few more questions. Third to last question is, where can more people find more about Marc Gordon?
That's a great question. If you go to my website, which is Marc with a C, S, and then Gordon, and then I have a couple different shorts, and I have my my music video that I'm putting, and then I'll have a lot of other stuff going on as well. I have a movie coming out that'll be in September, which will be released in all the streaming services, and I'll put that on there as well.
Yeah, and guys, we've got technology working for you, meaning that you can just do a click of the finger, and then it'll open you all up to Marc S. Gordon's world on the internet, and you'll probably find more about him on this internet than you would by actually just seeing him walk down the street. So that's pretty cool.
And I'm super interactive too. Like, I even put that up on my college alumni. I'm like, if anybody wants to just talk business or just anything, totally hit me up, and I'm would love to be able to chat with people, offer advice, or just kind of shoot the breeze too. So
sweet. Yeah, I mean, that is awesome, dude. You're an awesome resource. So second to last question is, I think it's sometimes hard for people to answer, but I think it's important to really look at when the last time we cried was, and why did you cry?
Well, that one, last year, my dog, I had to put my dog down, and she was almost 17, and that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. Everybody out there who has got a pet, like it's like having a kid, but it's with you all the time. And near the end, she couldn't walk, so I was like carrying her outside to go to the bathroom or taking her on adventures. And it's still something that I think about all the time. So that one, I definitely lost it.
Wow, man, thanks for sharing that, dude. Thank you. I know for a fact that'll bring some people to just going, oh God, like, this guy's got a heart. Second to last, I guess not second to last, but this is the last question is, like I said, I'm really scared about this podcast just being sort of like self-help jargon and entertainment, and a lot of people use self-help now as entertainment, believe it or not, instead of actually utilizing this self-improvement to improve themselves. So I'd love for you to give a piece of homework, something that someone can actually do today to maybe freshen up their life. Maybe it's a question, like a inquisitive question. What is one thing you'd like someone to do?
I think maybe like reconnect or reach out to somebody they haven't talked to in a while. I think a lot of times we're so busy, or it's a lot of people, they don't have that same communication that they might have had, and just reconnect, find out what's going on in other people, see what's happening with them, and I think a lot of people would feel like a lot better about it. Like I feel like as we get older, our connections go down, and let's see what's happening. Maybe you can help somebody. Maybe someone's going through a struggle, and you can kind of help them get out of it, or maybe they'll be able to give you some advice as well. So that would be my homework. And it's Father's Day, so everybody's got fathers. Talk to your dad today.
Hey, I love that one. No, I really, I can't agree more, man. When you reach out to people and just like, that's one of my biggest habits, actually. I think it's actually one of the best habits you could possibly have is by having a video or having some sort of like sentence that you send somebody just to say, hey, like, I think you're amazing. And I think you matter, and I haven't talked to you in a while. And to reach out to those people when you need nothing at all means so much. Instead of reaching out to them and being like, hey, I just lost my job, or hey, I just lost a bunch of money trying to, uh, buy a bunch of Bitcoin. Do you got any, they're more apt to help you when you need nothing, rather than when you absolutely need something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because sometimes when you reach out, they're like, "Well, what do you want? Can I help you with?" I'm like, "No, like I'm just wanted to say hi. That's all. How you doing?"
Yeah.
So I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think a lot of people throw that up and be like, "Oh, wow, someone's trying to, like, they want something from me." I'm like, no, just want to make sure you're okay. Everything's good.
I love it, man. Well, hey, dude, I want to let everybody else get back to their life. I really appreciate you coming on the show, scratch your own itch, and being vulnerable with me and scratching your own itch as well. And I know this won't be the last time we talk, but until then, until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you heard this and you found it inspiring or at all informal, please hit that subscribe button or give this a 5-star. That would really, really be exceptionally appreciated by myself and hopefully Mark too.
Thank you. I had so much fun, and you had some fabulous questions. So I really like what you're doing on your podcast.
Thanks, my dude. Awesome. Oh, wow. You made it to the very end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Scratch Your Own Itch with your host, Logan Tyler Nelson. To make it to the end, gosh, that doesn't happen very much nowadays. I mean, especially with the constant distraction. So, I appreciate all of the efforts that you just took out of your day to make it to the end. And if you hit that subscribe button and leave a review, you would have no idea what that would mean to me. So thank you so much for taking the time to hit that subscribe button. And if you leave a review, check it out. Just screenshot it, send it to me, and I'd love to host your review out on the show. But don't ever forget, like I say, you matter and you're enough.